Hello, hello. Hey. Good afternoon and welcome to Rotary. I'm glad to see so many smiling faces here. Some of y'all are scowling, okay? I'm going to have to do something about that. Okay, glad to have all of you here. Today, Kami is going to lead us in a prayer, CJ Crawford in the Pledge of Allegiance, and Kim Quimby in the four-way test. Please stand with me.
Dear God, Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for this cooler weather that you've brought us. Thank you for the opportunity to be here and serve our community, Lord. Guide us and direct us in the way that we should go. Bless this food to a nourishment of our bodies. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it true?
Second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
Third,
Will it build goodwill and better
and
friendships?
fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
You're not doing it. Right? Is it fun? That's one of the main things. Okay, here everybody. Do we have any visiting Rotarians with us today? I didn't see anybody. No. Boy, we have a good crowd here today. This makes me very happy. And I know we have some visitors. Millicent's little girls. Y'all want to stand up and tell us your name? Oh, come on, girls. You can do it.
My name's
Annie? Annie? Hi. What's your name?
And my name is
Demi. Demi. Annie and Demi. I have already recruited them today to help me put all this stuff up this afternoon. Last time they were here, they helped me stock the pantry on the porch. And, which, by the way, this is our service project for this month. And as you can see, we've had a couple Rotarians just show out today. James is going to explain part of it, but this is 2 Rotarians that have just showed out. Huh? Yes, it is. There's a story behind that. It is cool, isn't it? Yeah, I know. We often don't think about the dogs that are the friends to the people that need the food. So I thought it was awesome. Okay, let's see. That's our service project. So now we'll turn it over to Troy for our Happy Bucks. And remember, Happy Bucks this month is going to be used for our Veterans Project ahead of Veterans Day, okay? So dig deep, really deep, okay?
All right. It's got a 5-second delay on the light coming on. Anyway, so I'll put $1 in to start. Had the pleasure of having my daughter, son-in-law, and 2 grandkids all this weekend, so we were very happy with that. They flew in to try to surprise my wife and all for her birthday, but I'm not nearly sneaky enough for my wife, so she figured it out. Yes, ma'am.
I told y'all dig deep. Okay, I got 20 Happy Bucks here, so y'all dig deep. This is because if you did not file your 2023 tax return, you are just SOL, okay? It is too late. There's your money. I am glad it's over.
Amen. All right, Miss Liz. She's happy to be here. All right. What else is going on today? Oh, thank you, CJ. Nope, she's just happy? Oh, okay. Are you happy because you're sitting across from somebody with a birthday? Oh, the dessert was excellent. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Who else is happy? Who else is happy? All right. Coming up here, Larry.
I'm happy because I have my oldest grandsons come to visit with me. Him and his cousin came up to visit for a week, and they decided they wanted to go to Town East Mall, so that's where they went today. I tried to bring them to Rotary. I did right.
Good stuff. Ginger.
So I'm happy. As y'all know, my job is fundraising for the Boys and Girls Club. We had our biggest event last weekend. We pulled 80 grand out of the duck regatta, and as of this morning, we are sold out on our golf tournament. So we're doing really well, and I'm really excited about it.
Good deal. Roxanne. All right, she's happy. Gentlemen. Thank you.
Debbie's gonna be happy today too.
All right, Debbie's happy. Sean's happy after traveling across the western United States.
She thought they were.
Yes, we take quarters, Dylan.
I am happy to announce a market update coming. Our office is putting on a post-election dinner. So if anybody wants to come out a couple days after the election, have free dinner on us, and just kind of hear about what we're expecting in the market. Should be a good time at Solma's Barbecue. Come on out and have fun.
What's the date on that?
It's going to be at Solma's Barbecue, November 7th from 5:30 to 7. So let me know if you want to come.
Oh, it's on the calendar.
Yes, it's on the calendar. Just call me and I'll book a spot for you. It's not a sales pitch, guys. So just fun. Good dinner and fun.
And is it gonna change?
Good stuff. All right, David.
I'm not talking politics, I'll tell you that much.
Mine's actually an unhappy book. I've got a granddaughter that's going to be having a baby the first part of January, and I've done everything I could to name, it's a boy. And I keep suggesting his name should be David, and unhappily I'm unhappy, she told me it wasn't going to be David.
Yeah, your votes kind of decrease in value as far as naming the grandkids. Which, by the way, we've got a third one on the way. So, yeah, can't imagine how that happened. Anyway, all right. Yeah. All right. I need to have somebody draw a card. If only I could have somebody, draw a ticket. If they could just do that for me and hand me a ticket. Oh, it's okay. All right. Good deal. Okay. 99. 82. 1. 5. What's that last number?
8.
This table, it's rigged. It's rigged. All right. Thank you for your help. All right.
And I play big every time. This is $5.
Y'all remember, this is our
Only 17
international.
cards as of today.
They're $1 each.
4 of hearts. And on we go.
So big.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. How about we give away money? You ready? Okay. You ready? Okay. We have 2 checks to give away today. I'm so excited. The first one, well, I'll turn this over to Teresa. I'm sorry, I was drawing a blank.
That's not me, David. So I wanted to just give you guys an update. We're going to give away a little money today to Shepherd's Watch. And Shepherd's Watch is an organization that a lot of the nonprofits in our area are very familiar with. They are an anti-trafficking organization and do a lot of really good work in that whole Northeast Texas area. And so some of you who've been in Rotary for a little while remember that we started an anti-trafficking satellite club. It did not take off the way we wanted it to, and so we made the decision a short time ago to dissolve the club and take the funding and invest it into Shepherd's Watch, into a project that they're doing. So I've invited Stacy today to share with you about the project because Rotary will be sponsoring this project with the funds from the satellite club. So this is Stacy Montgomery from Shepherd's Watch.
Everybody.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I think this is my 5th or 6th time here. It's been a while, but thank you guys so much for having me. If I don't make much sense, I haven't had much sleep, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But the podcast series or project that you guys are funding for us is most important. Let me explain how it got started. I was actually doing one of my anti-trafficking presentations, and for those of you that don't know, what we do is we're a team of licensed private investigators that assist law enforcement with targeting sex trafficking rings and taking them down. So that's pretty much our focus, but we also do education awareness. We go around and do presentations and training. And I was doing at another Rotary Club, and after the meeting, ex-ISD Superintendent Graham Sweeney said, "Come here, I need to talk to you." And he said, "You need to do this for all the schools." And so he hooked me up with the guy at Proclaim, which is a professional media company, professional media and podcast company, and we're going to create a 3-series podcast, video, not just audio, but video. One for educators and teachers, anybody that works with youth, like counselors, parents, and I'm sorry, you guys, I'm so tired. I'll explain why. I have not slept yet today. So, teachers and educators, and that's everything from like the janitor to the principal to the bus driver, everything like that. So there's going to be one segment, and it's going to be training on how to identify sex trafficking situations and how to avoid them. One for students and youth. We're going to do it for students that are on campus, but also all youth, so we can provide it to youth groups, and then of course parents. So we're going to create that podcast series, and it's cost about $6,500 to $7,000 because we're having it professionally done. That's the total cost that the media company is charging us. Of course, we're going to provide the content, do everything for free, and we're going to distribute it for free. So we're going to distribute it nationwide, and just think about how many people we can affect and get to so quickly when we can just send a link. So there's no distribution costs. We're going to focus on Texas first, of course. So what I did, since I'm not making any sense today, I knew I wouldn't, and I'll explain why in just a second if I have a couple minutes, but this is the link for the campaign for the fundraiser for this. And so I just wanted to show you guys that I've already added the check that you guys are giving us today, and thank you again so much. Thank you. But you can read more about the podcast series here, and I wanted you guys to have something to take with you that you could show others. But you can see at the top here where I've already put on there, thank you Rotary Club of Greenville for being an official sponsor. And this QR code, you can just scan that and this link will come up for you. Or you can just text sex trafficked, those words right there, to 53555 and the link will come up on your phone. So if you guys want to share that with anybody else that couldn't be here, that would be great. But we just want to thank you guys so much for supporting us. We're trying to get the podcast series done, and since you guys have given us the money, I think we're going to make it happen for January because it's Human Trafficking Awareness Month. So it'd be a great time to get it out to the schools. And we're, again, like I said, we're going to focus on Northeast Texas first and the state of Texas first. So anyway, why I'm tired real quick. Oh my God. So we had a journalist come down from the Free Press last month and interview myself and my lead investigator, and then she did ride-alongs for two days with our lead investigator. Well, she dropped the article on Monday morning of this week and did not warn us she was dropping the article. And I haven't slept since Sunday night. So she was interviewed on Fox News. I'm being interviewed on Fox News tomorrow or Friday. So it's just been kind of crazy. I haven't had any sleep, just fielding all these calls and media calls and everything. It's a great thing. It's a great article. If you guys want, you've got my information. I have business cards. I'll send you the links. But the article is fantastic. It's a lot of information. Do you guys have any questions?
Get some sleep for your
I will send you guys her information through Club Runner so that you have it and then you can follow up. But the opportunity for Rotary to sponsor something that's going to have a nationwide impact, I think is pretty amazing. So we have a check for you, David. Do you want to
Go ahead.
And I forgot to mention on the podcast, on the video, it'll say brought to you by or sponsored by Rotary Club of Greenville, Texas. So you'll get a lot of exposure for a very long time. Thank you. We got loud pants, we can't stand it. I know. You got to stay apart from me. So there are pants in there. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, all right. Well, then let me turn it
over to Dwayne. Is there anything else before we bring our speaker up? Anybody think of something? Oh, Roxanne?
We're still working on the Roxy's Rotary Roundup. The date is going to be November 12th, and right now we're tentatively planning to have it at Shenanigans, but we'll confirm that.
That'll be fun. Thank you.
Well, we can get started while we're starting to warm up and get going. So my name's Kenny Thomas. I'm the general manager for the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter of the PTSD Foundation of America. So we cover the Dallas-Fort Worth area and a 150-mile radius outside of that. So pretty much all of North Texas. So I kind of want to open up a little bit about myself, my background, and kind of how I got involved with the organization. And then we'll start looking at some demographics of the veteran demographics in our area, get more information about the program and stuff like that. So I joined the Army in 2000 as an infantryman. 2001 happened. I deployed to Afghanistan. Did 10 months in Afghanistan, came home, got orders to invade Iraq in 03, invaded Iraq in 03. Iraq was really my true introduction to combat. Afghanistan deployment wasn't bad, but we lost some guys in Iraq, and it really was a rough deployment for us. So I got home from Iraq after 12 months, and we got out of the Army, ETS in 2004 with an honorable discharge. And, you know, I started my life after the military. I went to college. Everything was new and exciting, but once reality sunk in, PTSD really started sinking in. So in 2006, I had my first suicide attempt. I had taken a bottle of, I think, Klonopin, whatever was left in the bottle, a couple of beers, and laid down and didn't want to wake up. By the grace of God, I did wake up the next day. But I wasn't really ready to get the help I needed, or really ready to admit I was struggling. So I continued to do the best I could with what I had. I finished up college, started my career in respiratory therapy, did that for a while. 2012 was my second attempt. At this point, I'm ready to get the help I need. So I go to my local VA clinic in Birmingham, Alabama. They put me into the acute psych unit for 2 to 3 weeks. Then they put me in their PTSD program at Tuscaloosa VA. So I spent 3 months in the program there trying to get a lot of trauma processed, learn how to deal with my coping skills and stuff like that. Got out of that program. Again, everything was new, felt exciting, felt like I had it, and then reality sunk back in and I continued to struggle. 2015, I went back into the PTSD program in Tuscaloosa. I made a pretty good friend of mine in there. We finished the program together. We'd really been leaning on each other for support after that. I didn't have that after my first go around in that. And then he took his own life in July of 2016. And that really spiraled me really back down that dark path. So September 21st of 2016, I find myself behind my mother's house in the creek with a gun. My plan was to shoot myself so the creek could clean up the mess. Left my cell phone there so they could find my body. I felt like I was a burden on my family, a failure. I felt like I was not worth living. So as I'm sitting there, I'm praying to God. I'm asking God, please do something, God. Don't let me do this. And my phone rang, and it was a Marine combat veteran buddy of mine who had picked me up from the PTSD program the second time. He said, God put you on my heart. What's going on? And I told him what was going on. And then 45 minutes later, he came out to grab me up. He started talking to me about some different options and told me about a program in Houston, Texas called Camp Hope. We'll get into that here shortly. And I was like, I can't afford it. You know, there's all these, he was like, it doesn't cost anything. We'll provide transportation out there. You just got to commit to change. The next day they had me on a flight to Houston, Texas, and my life has been changed ever since. So that's why I'm really passionate about what I get to do. So I've been with the organization now for 8 years, and it's not a job. It's a passion, it's a purpose. I get to help the next veteran struggling, to help them find that reality of life again. So first off, let's look over some demographics just in our area, in the North Texas area. So we got 1.6 million veterans right now in the state of Texas. It goes back and forth between us and California, who has the biggest population. And I know they're all coming from California to Texas, so we'll probably continue to grow. If we look at number of veteran suicides, so the last veteran suicide statistics were released in 2019. Texas has the highest number of veteran suicides in the country, out of 583 just in 2019. In just our North Texas area alone, our population is 331,265 veterans. Again, 583 veterans across the state of Texas have died by suicide in 2019. Just a basic breakdown of the numbers of the demographics in North Texas. Tarrant County has the highest number of veterans in their area. Dallas is second, followed by Collin County third. Almost 450 veterans are without shelter in Texas on any given night. So in Texas, about 7% of the homeless population is made up of veterans. This is the leading cause of homelessness for veterans is PTSD, isolation, unemployment, and substance abuse. They're trying to numb that pain, trying to figure out how to get through life without support. They're just doing the best they can with what they got. They don't know what to do yet. Why do we do what we do at the PTSD Foundation of America? One is too many. So veterans that are diagnosed with PTSD post 9/11 range between 11 and 20%. It's more towards the higher side of 20%. PTSD leads to low marriage rates, high divorce rates. So the veteran feels like that has PTSD, they feel like they're a burden. They feel like they're not worthy of love. They feel like they're a failure. So they isolate themselves. So if they can isolate themselves from their family members, it of course leads to divorce. But it also it looks a little something like maybe somebody's being angry or somebody's being, just not really involved. The reality of it is they don't want to put the burden of their problems on their loved ones. It's just hard for them to see that. Suicide is now the leading cause of non-combat related deaths. So in post 9/11 between Iraq and Afghanistan, we lost 7,000 service members in combat. We've lost 31,000 veterans who have died by suicide. That's more than 4 times the number of veterans who've died in combat. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, veterans are twice as likely as non-veterans to die by suicide. Texas veteran suicides accounts for almost 8% of the total U.S. veteran suicides in the last 2 decades and ranked 3rd highest of any state. Why we do it? So let's look at the VA's numbers, kind of their statistics on suicide, kind of what that looks like. So there's been 6,392 suicides amongst veterans in 2019 across the country. The average number of veteran suicides per day rose from 16.4 in 2001 to 17.5 in 2021. The unadjusted suicide rate for veterans was 23.3 per 100,000 in 2001 and 33.9 per 100,000 in 2021. There's been a substantial increase in suicide rates from 2020 and 2021, including veterans aged 35 to 54 years old, with an increase of 10.7%. So what is that saying? That's saying the number of veterans that are dying by suicide between that age group are veterans who are fathers, mothers, leaders of their community, leaders of their church, veterans who are making an impact in our community today, and they're dying by suicide. The prevalence of firearm involvement with veteran suicide deaths rose from 71.3% to 70.2%, and that's the highest percentage over the last 20 years. What does that say? The veterans are more intentional about dying by suicide. They're understanding that overdoses on pills are not getting it done, or other routes. But they know one thing's true. They learned in the military, a bullet will kill you quickly. And they're more intentional about it these days. Now let's look at some other demographics about veteran suicide. So there's a study called Operation Deep Dive that was conducted by the University of Alabama and Duke University. And they covered 8 states and gathered all the statistics from those states, and they come up with these, what we're looking at right now. So former service members take their own lives each year at a rate approximately 2.4 times greater than previously reported by the Department of Veterans Affairs. Operation Deep Dive identified a 37% greater suicide rate than reported by the VAs for years 2014 to 2018. Approximately, according to Operation Deep Dive, 24 service members die per day by suicide, which is compared to the VA's numbers of 17.7. Approximately 24 of the service members die per day by self-injury mortality. What is that? That's drug overdose, alcoholism. It's something that could have been prevented if the veteran had the resources they needed when they needed them. I'm not going to bash on the VA. I think they do what they can do within the realm of what they're able to do. But the reality of it is, a veteran goes to get help from the VA, and they're on a 2-month waiting list, 3-month waiting list. Veterans don't have that time. They need help now. And that's what we try to come in to do, to get rid of that barrier. We're there for the veteran now. That's what's going to help decrease these numbers. Who we are. So we're a 501c nonprofit organization who does a peer-to-peer program that saves lives. So all of our staff members that are working directly with the veterans and the families are either combat veterans or family members of combat veterans. We're made up of veterans, families, pastors, civilians with a heart for military and volunteers. We also have a clinical staff on our program at Camp Hope in Houston, Texas. What we do provide hope and healing. So we bring hope and healing to veterans and their families that are struggling with PTSD and related conditions. We do this for free programming for the entire family and the military community, peer mentoring, and pastoral and clinical counseling. So here at our outreach chapter in the DFW area, we go out in the community, we find veterans that are struggling, we offer the peer-to-peer support aspects. We want to make sure that veteran understands, hey, you're not alone in this battle. I've been in your shoes 8 years ago. I know what you're going through. I've felt those pains, and I'm here to help walk you through this. We also offer peer support groups so the veterans can come together to have that support of other brothers and sisters in the community. So if they can't contact me, maybe they can contact the other person, or just have that community for that support. We also offer the same support for the family members. A lot of organizations are not able to do that, but the families suffer also. Secondary PTSD is something that's very real in the families. So we do have a spouse of a combat veteran as our family coordinator, and she provides that support for the veterans' families that we work with. We also connect veterans to any kind of resources we do not provide. So we're partnered with other nonprofits across North Texas to help provide housing, financial assistance, transportation, educational, whatever that need for that veteran is, we're connected to where we can get them the help now. Now, I spoke a little bit about Camp Hope. So Camp Hope is our 6-month minimum peer-to-peer residential treatment program for male combat veterans. When they started the program back in 2012, they tried to have it co-ed, but on 5 acres, that wasn't the safest for all the veterans involved. So we learned the hard way we had to separate that. So we hope to have our female facility within the next 5 years, and the DFW area might be a possibility for that female facility. Still up in the air. But really, to tell you more about the program, I want to show you a video. If I can get it to work. Well, my computer has seemed to froze. Let's see if I can do this. What is your Wi-Fi password in here? No, I can hotspot my phone if you don't.
It's Rotary 1830. What is it?
1832.
Which one is it? The landmark guest or landmark admin? Guest. Connect. What is it again?
Rotary
1832.
Capital R, Rotary, 1832.
Uppercase R.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just gave you permission, so pass.
I think you got hit play.
Transition back is when everything started to happen. You seem like you did all that and nobody cared, right? Nobody cared. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I just wanted to kill myself many times. Like, you know, hold out the gun and just put it to my head and talk about Camp Hope. This is the point right here is where everything just changed. You know, and I can't believe it. You know, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, geez, how did this happen? You know?
When we began PTSD Foundation of America, statistics were telling us 1 out of every 3 adult homeless persons were United States veterans. We lost 7,000 in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. We're just now coming home, and we've already lost more than 4 times those who were killed in combat to suicide after coming home.
When you come out and walk Camp Hope, you see vets walking all over the campus, going back and forth between classes, and what do? You see guys with smiles on their faces. And you go, wait a minute, Doug, you just told me these are the high-risk guys, right? Well, why are they smiling? Because of Camp Hope.
Really, it's an atrocity. It's just shameful that they, you know, come home and they're not supported. These are people willing to take their lives after already giving the ultimate sacrifice for me, for you. When I got back, we drowned every one of our memories, anything I could do to take my mind off of it, started doing. And the bottom floor looked like 96 months in prison. My plan was to go to prison and take out as many bad guys as I could. I asked the magistrate, hey, can I have some help? And they said, we think we got a place for you to go. Are you willing to go? I said, whatever you guys think is possible for me to have some type of life, because I don't have any hope for it. And they said the place is called Camp Hope. Everything changed.
In 2009, we began with a piece of paper that said we were a nonprofit and a firm belief that what we were going to do was going to work and not only save some lives, but change them. We didn't own a paperclip. Today, we have a 5-acre campus. We have chapters that run from different cities across the country. Campus with over 100 people living on it currently. Everything we do for the veteran is absolutely paid for and free. We take care of everything they need while they live with us 6 months to a year, sometimes longer.
Before they step through that gate, they've been alone. They've been alone with this issue for a long time. When they step through that gate, not only are they amongst 80 to 90 vets just like themselves, there's another 20 to 30 veteran staff members with PTSD out here, and every one of these guys has their back.
I was in a very dark place in my life, facing a life sentence, 30 years. Everything that I thought was right was wrong. Everything I thought was wrong was right. And a lot of it had to do with the drugs that I was on. And it wasn't until I came to Camp Hope and I got some serious sobriety time under my belt where I finally, my eyes started opening up and realizing just how reckless and wild of a life I was living. It's a lot easier when you're talking to somebody who is another combat vet who's had those same experiences. Camp Hope offered me a place to get all that out with somebody who I trusted and changed my life.
I was facing 16 charges, 6 felonies, and the truth of the matter was it was me and me alone. Being here at Camp Hope, day by day, moment by moment, I started to realize that I wasn't alone.
My name is Roger Cross, United States Army, and I'm alive today because of Camp Hope.
My name is Joshua Mayer. I'm in the United States Marine Corps, and Camp Hope has absolutely saved my life.
I'm an Army veteran, and Camp Hope saved my life.
Camp Hope saved my life, man. If it wasn't for Camp Hope, I wouldn't be here.
I was Army National Guard, combat man for 8.5 years. I came to Camp Hope, and it saved my life.
King Scag, United States Army. Camp Hope provided me with the tools to help me manage my PTSD and depression.
This place is very, very special, very precious. I've watched Army Rangers SF, snipers, every branch of service come here, and they find fellowship, the camaraderie, the brotherhood. We wouldn't give it up for nobody or nothing.
Pick up your bags from under the bridges, because there is help here in Houston, Texas. The place is Camp Hope.
Over 40% of the vets at Camp Hope come from out of state, and it's been that way since day one. The need is all over the country.
This isn't like something that we think about, it'd be great if we grew this thing to this. This is a need today.
Basically, we've got the widget, we need investment capital. How many corporations have the opportunity to list saving lives on their balance sheets? We'd be glad to give them that opportunity.
Everything we're able to do here on this campus and in our chapters, all because of individuals and companies who understand what's going on in our veteran community needs to change.
So that's a quick introduction to Camp Hope. So really at Camp Hope, it says everything right there. You got a community of other combat veterans who know what you're going through. And for me, my experience, when I first walked onto campus, I walked onto campus and I was a little nervous. I didn't know what I was getting into. But I walk into my bay and there's 13 other veterans around me that are just welcoming me into the bay. I felt like for the first time since I got out of the Army that I was back with the men who I trusted to support me and had my back. It was a long time since I felt that. So that's one of the beauties about what we do at Camp Hope. So Camp Hope, like I said, is our inpatient program. So our really goal for the Dallas-Fort Worth chapter is to help the veteran here at home. We can help the veteran here at home. We understand 6 to 9 months to a year is a hard commitment to make, especially if you have family. But if you do need that higher level of care, we'll get that veteran to Camp Hope. Once they complete the program and they come back to our area, we'll continue the aftercare portion. We just want to make sure that veteran understands through this entire process, you're not alone. You're not. A little bit more about the DFW market overview. VA presence, we got one major VA hospital in the area. We got 12 VA outpatient clinics, healthcare for homeless veterans, the domiciliaries. We have one in Bonham, one in Dallas, and one in Tyler. The DFW area has a total of 6 veterans treatment courts, including one out in this area run by Judge Roach. So veteran treatment courts are something that are pretty amazing what they do. They don't take violent offenders, so it's normally a veteran who has maybe drug charges, DUI, first time offenders, and it could be related to their PTSD, it could be related to something else, but they're giving that veteran a second chance. So the treatment court will come up with a treatment team to develop that treatment plan for that veteran. It could be anywhere from 6 months to 18 months, I think. And once the veteran completes their treatment plan through Veterans Treatment Court, their charges are then dropped and their records are expunged. So the veteran has that second chance that doesn't have that on their record. That's everything I had to offer today. My information's up here. Please take a picture of it. So if you guys know of any veterans that are struggling, need our help, anybody would like to get involved, just reach out to me directly. That's my cell phone number. That's my email address. And then, yeah, you guys have any questions for me?
I think you just kind of, hold on, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I think you just, there's a question, I think you just.
I've got a question. So we're talking a lot about post-traumatic stress disorder. How much pre-engagement, pre-war, pre-battle type of training does the Army provide you to try and prevent this kind of stuff from happening?
I don't know what it's like today. When I was in, 0. It was, don't say anything on your board getting out. Don't tell them about your nightmares. Don't tell them about any injuries because it'll make you stay in longer. Don't say anything. I hope it's changed these days, but that was my experience.
But it seems like if they did a lot of training up front, maybe they could prevent stuff on the backside.
I agree, 100%.
I can speak to that if you're, because it makes sense to think about
what about how do we get here?
Yeah.
You got people that probably are looking for an opportunity that they don't have, so they join the military, so they come from everywhere. And while you're in, you're trained to be emotionless, to be strong, and to push whatever you just accomplished behind you. Because that service that possibly you'd have to provide in combat, you'd have to be that. So then you completely forget about the world that we're all living in. And then one day you get out, they're not gonna, probably wouldn't endorse being able to survive in combat if they were teaching you to be very speaking out about your emotions and stuff like that. They need you to move quickly and strong and fast. So then you get out in the real world, and it takes a while to even realize what the real world is again, because you've been so far removed from it, It would be curious if they would communicate with the PTSD Foundation to learn maybe on the exiting of the military, if they could provide them with that information. Because they're still going to be so wrapped up in who they are, they're not even thinking about wanting help. And they have that camaraderie while they're in that you immediately lose when you get out.
So we are working with some nonprofits who kind of help in that aspect with the veterans, ETS, or retiring out of the military. They've got tons of resources they can reach into from that nonprofit, and we're part of that. So unfortunately, us going onto the base and being part of that ETS process, they call it ACAPS, everybody calls it something different. They won't allow us on base to do that. We have attempted to go that route. Any other questions?
Is Camp Hope about getting your feelings out? I mean, is that what they do to you?
It is. It's about talking about it,
Yeah.
processing it, understand you're not the only one that struggles with that. So another beauty about Camp Hope, we don't report to the VA. So if you got disability ratings and you're worried about what you say might get back to them and they'll take your disability rating, that's not part of it. So we got men on campus processing childhood sexual trauma, processing childhood abuse, processing combat trauma, all the trauma throughout their life. So we can start it from childhood all the way to combat and help that veteran process every bit of that trauma.
I'd like to thank you for being here. It's been very, very educational and kind of heavy on my heart to hear things like this. Hear about the suicides and stuff. It's hard to hear. But if I could get all the veterans to come up and come right over here. We're going to get a picture to have you here. If I could get all the veterans over here. We're going to need, yes, right over here in front of our signs. I'm not a veteran, but I will probably, can I get you to take a picture? Because Ginger, aren't you a veteran?
No.
Where did I get that you were a veteran?
I have no idea. I'm trying to hold it together.
Huh?
I'm just trying to take a picture. Not cry.
Okay. All right, here. Let me in here, Doc. All right. Yeah, for some reason I thought. Okay. It's kind of what I feel like too.
Okay, y'all ready?
I am honored. I'm honored to stand here with y'all. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Yep, that's right here. Thank you, Larry. Thank you for your service. David, more. I do love you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you all for your service. We really appreciate it. That is quite a testimony. Anyway, let me refresh your memory on a few dates right quick before you take off. It's all on your calendar, but if you know that World Polio Day, we're having a Pints for Polio. Yes, we're having Pints for Polio on the 24th, and we need some teams. I have my team together, so I suggest you get yours, because if not, we're going to kick your butt, okay? We remembered that Rotary delivers Meals on Wheels on the first Monday of every month. So when you get the email from Meals on Wheels, make sure you respond. And then on November the 11th, our very own James Adams is going to get a Veterans Day, what's the word I need? Recognition for his time and service. There's actually quite a few from Hunt County that are going to be recognized on Veterans Day at the Collin College in McKinney. And so some of us are going to try to get together, and I'll go over there and pay our respects to James. Anyway, anything else anybody can think of? Oh, wait a minute, I got one more. Oh, no, Dylan already said that one. That was yours. Okay, well, that's Rotary for the day. And I do need some help carrying this stuff to the back. Thank you much.
This video has been brought to you by Juice.
Juice is your community-owned provider for electricity, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.